Connor Coffin, no slouch himself, will bow out for a quarter-final finish. And now let's reset and set up a sumptuous-looking third quarter. Kanoa Igarashi from Japan taking on John Florence from Hawaii. Paul Evans in the studio alongside Kaipo Guerrero, and we cannot wait for this thing to light up, Kites.
Just set up Italo Ferreira and Felipe Toledo are going to be facing off in that semifinal number 1. Now we're going to set up semifinal number 2. Here's John Florence.
Here he goes down the line on the hunt, and he throws in a layback jab under the lip, doesn't get a completion from it. He'll just make his way back out, so getting the early start in that. Kanoa will have priority now.
You seem to use the wind to your advantage. Waves, the conditions got kind of tricky right now. The wind's super strong. The waves are kind of, there is waves, but they're kind of, hard to surf because of the wind.
We got this replay to get through first with John Florence swinging a couple of times on the backhand, a little fin drift there for Florence. One more time up in the lip. That's going to be a 4.5 for John. As we can take a look at this in slow motion and really hooking through that first turn, little tail release. Things get a little bit more interesting right here with the tail fin release. Kind of rides fakie for a little bit, comes around, and then just another lipper right there. That time a little different turn, real vertical, almost like a slash windshield wiper final turn.
Well, it had fireworks from Felipe Toledo. Here goes Igarashi, looks interested here, and he'll paddle. Igarashi is up on a left-hander. A little pause at the start of that wave, then he finds some speed. He's looking for a ramp here, a ton of speed down the line. Igarashi, he'll punt one. And it's a relatively modest rotation by his standards, a little flat spin and a little intake of breath from Kaipo. We give him that a completion?
I don't think he's going to get the completion on that one, Paul. And you did make a great statement on for Kanoa Igarashi.
We love going out and about down the beach. We love sampling the vibe. The only man who loves doing it more than us is Strider Wasilewski. Before we go to him, we'll pick up live action from John Florence. He's found himself a left here. Low line off the bottom, smacks it hard. And again off the bottom, again tags the lip. Keeps the board speed going. Electrifying turn from him. There's a fourth. And he's belting this thing relentlessly. He might look for a little finish section on the end too. And he just gets it done. Really nice stuff from John Florence. The crowd will be enjoying that.
Right here, John Florence dancing on the backhand. Rhythm, flow, tempo, all in play right here. You can see he just gets into that rhythm. He feels the tempo. He's able to do multiple maneuvers back-to-back seamlessly. And even through that difficult section at the end, has a finish. And John put his dancing shoes on right now this afternoon in quarterfinal 3. Beautiful vision in slow motion where you can really study the technique of John Florence. Fins coming free, some air under the board, back up into the lip, and just really having a great tempo throughout this entire left. Now, we've seen it earlier today. This kind of tempo, when you bang multiple maneuvers, usually equals a great score, and the score is already in, Paul.
Yeah, it's a decent number for John, 6.83 for him.
Here we go, Kanoa Igarashi, double pump off the bottom, big snap off the top, looking for more down the line, and has to just duck out because that wave ran off in front of him. That was a 3.5. This afternoon, Paul, there's been a theme of the surfers who get the scores and the early start have been victorious. Here's John live action.
Going all floppy, looking for a section here. He hits it real nice, just kind of stinging it, putting up a projection float, and then throwing in an attempt at a backhand air reverse with almost kind of no backswing into that. He just kind of floated it up there. He'll go incomplete on the last maneuver. The intensity ramps up in Peniche. We're in quarterfinals. We're watching live action of John Florence, two-time world champ. A sting in his tail from the first maneuver. Another similar snap spray, ejecting in the wind, and he finishes as well with a third turn. It's strong, and John Florence has found rhythm in this heat so far, and he's looking to continue that. Going to the forehand option that time out, and doing it to pretty good effect, Strider.
This another look at John, this time on a right-hander. Snap, gets his layback out there, throws the fins a bit, skates through that section. Again, dynamic turns for John Florence, and he's going to improve his scoreline right now with this performance. Another look, you can see arcing turn, throws the backhand in for a little bit of stability as the fins slide out. Again, another snap, a little bit of differentiation between those two snaps, and the important closing maneuver. Again, getting the fins high out the back in front of the whitewater, complete score that for John Florence. And it's going to be really important for Kanoa Igarashi to choose the right time to go on a wave and get the rhythm on his side, and it looks like it's going to be right now.
Uses the priority and gets on the front foot. He's got a speed run down the line here. Nice big hit from him. Massive spray from Igarashi. Beautiful turn, drops the hammer. Does it really well. The board control is amazing. And a beautifully surfed wave with a couple of big hits, and he'll be back in the heat with that. Much better stuff from Igarashi.
This is what Kanoa Igarashi did. Picks off this wave. He had to skip through that first section, but then nice tail throw there. A lot of energy and real electric. And of course, finishing off with a big maneuver like that is always great to leave the last impression on the judge's mind. High up above, you can see the speed of Kanoa Igarashi and how much ground he was able to cover in that right-hander. And of course, again, having a dynamic finish is essential if you want to get a good score. I love this in slow motion, Paul. You can see such a snap where he even buries his nose and then punches the tail, carves it down, gets a bit of release even on the way down, rides out in front of the whitewater for a completion. Anywhere else, you're going to have to be reactive to what nature's throwing at you. Here we go again.
Live action, Florence got himself a right-hander again here, off the bottom. And a beautiful turn, just drags that rail as he carves through the face of the wave, through the lip too. Another one from Florence, and he'll keep on snapping. That one will push wide, and he'll kick out. The score comes in for Igarashi, 5-6-3. He's right back in this heat, so it's just under John's backup score. His requirement is a 7-2-6 now, 12 on the clock, and we're game on.
Let's take another look at it so we can digest it. He needs to do better than a 6.1. Nice first opening snap, carves through there. Another two-turn combo here, and now that I'm looking at it again, it may be close to a little bit of an improvement. So this is going to be right on the line, and all by merit of this first turn that we're going to check out in slow motion. This was a big, dynamic, arcing turn, showing a lot of power and control of the rail. Another little hook there, but really the meat of the score is going to come from that opening turn.
Florence doing good work. That Super Tubos, a wave that was a bit of a tube fest this morning, and very different guys at the moment. It's very entertaining watching these surfers mix up the repertoire. Meanwhile, with a ton of speed, Igarashi and unable to capitalize there, Kaipo.
So we talked about rhythm. So my first instinct was that was not going to change it for John Florence. It did not change the requirement. 5.17. The requirement was the same for Kanoa Igarashi. He needs a 7.26, but what happened just now, he gave up priority. That was a priority error.
Just picking up on the back side of the bank here. You see that whitewater triangle? And that is the shallow part of the bank, and then this right-hander will wrap around, and when it does, that'll be a little bit sheltered from that bank of whitewater. So from further deep, Igarashi's able to get this. John can't get near it, and he throws down a big snap, but maybe just puts a little too much into it, and he kind of almost completely stops. And that flow, not quite there on that ride.
Yeah, got a little hung up there, so that's not going to be the number. And now that we're going to identify if this wave's worth going after, it looks like it's Kanoa Igarashi who's once again going to escape the priority of John Florence.
He's managed to get away. He's managed to find himself a left. Here's the speed, looks for a ramp. Here he goes down the line into a big punt, and he'll collect that on the whitewater. Not a massive gain by his own standards, but a decent one. Crucially, he stuck it. Not sure if that'll go towards the 7 that he needs, but it'll certainly improve on his backup number at least.
We'll take a look at it here on the replay. Barely scratches into this one, building up some speed down the line, spots the ramp, launches, lands, sticks the fins in there, and completes the ride. Slow motion, you can really break this down. The launch, the rotation, sticking the fins, getting that extra 180 to ride out of incomplete. Doesn't want to waste any time. Back to live action.
Here he goes again, and a similar section and a similar kind of maneuver that again he kind of collects that on top of the whitewater. The landing isn't super clean. Meanwhile, out the back, Florence throws up a super late re-entry that he'll go incomplete on as well. So let's see. There we go. John already paddling out the back to claim priority. The previous of Kanoa comes in It's just a 4-3. The last one will be deemed incomplete on the air. An adopted home for him. He spent so much time in this part of the world. And a little out of favor in this heat. Here goes John Florence, uses the priorities, got a load of speed, doesn't use it that wisely, Kaipo.
Nice sail by Kanoa Igarashi. So Kanoa got 45 seconds right now to make things happen. It's all up to Super Tubos at this moment.
7.26 the requirement, and he's got just over 30 seconds right now. He'll spin and go this. Last chance for Igarashi. Here he is on the right-hander, and he pumps off the bottom. Bit of a lump in the face. He wobbles a bit. Nice little snap off the top. He'll gather, gets a floater, and still streaking down the line. He's going to outrun the wave and go to a section coming at him. The little left-hander oncoming section. Great hit off the end. He ain't done yet. Wow. Throws in a little rotation. It was entertaining. There was lots there. Feel like he saved the best for that penultimate maneuver. Unable to get a completion on the last rotation. That number 7.26.
Yeah, here you go. Quick snap there. Knows he needs to get an outside turn in. Lip glide, floats through that section. And this is the downtime that's going to cost him. Just has to tic-tac through the flats. Does a good job of a really dynamic reconnect. Now, I would have liked to see this completed to really give himself a chance to get that number. So this is going to come up short, is my belief.
4-7 is the number that locks in, and it's going to be Florence who will go through to the second semi-final. He's going to face a surfer from San Clemente. Andino and Colapinto will take to the water. John Florence will take the win. The fans will enjoy it, and he will look to come back for semi-finals.